Hey everyone, welcome to another special edition of my Unleashed podcast for our Pride Month. I'm Pup Twigs from Orlando, Florida, and joining us all the way from Scotland is Puppy Love and Raven Jasmine. How are you guys?
Very good. How are you? By the way.
I am doing really, really good. So it's all about Pride this month. So I just want to ask you guys, how do you personally define Pride?
Um, Me personally, I I define it as I can't say community because it's a collection of community.
Okay.
You know, it Pride is it's a family of hundreds of different communities all the way around the world that you don't know you needed until you actually find them, and then your whole world opens up. So Pride. It, It's like an open door. It gives you that chance to turn the door and open it and see what's inside. You know.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I think for me, pride is it's about celebrating who we are and celebrating how far the communities have come, both individually and as a collective, and um, embracing yourself and embracing who you are, and showing other people that it's okay to embrace themselves too.
okay. Well, and I know we play kind of a niche group of Pride members because we're not only a part of Pride, but we're also part of the pup group that goes along with Pride. So, what does Pride represent to you in terms of your own identities?
Growing up, I saw struggles that family members went through
Hmm.
um, coming out. So I've had uncles and like people who were adamantly anti-gay when they were younger. When I was younger and as a kid, they're now part of the gay community, and it's nice. It's it gives you a sense of identity that you belong. You know.
Hmm.
Whereas in a world where everything's crazy and everything's going on, you can actually feel like it gives you that 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 grasp on things. You know.
Okay.
The the aspect that you're part of something bigger, I suppose. Um, for me personally, in terms of who I am, I I've been to a few prides myself, um, but a lot of those were with a youth group that I was um, working for at the time. So I was kind of there in a authoritative capacity rather than kind of enjoy the event on my own personal terms. Um, I think it's a reminder that you're not alone
Yeah.
and that you are part of something bigger, and that whatever struggles or issues you may face as a gay man, trans man, lesbian, whatever, there are people there that can help you, that can support you, and that are probably going to do the same thing that you are. So you can kind of hopefully find some solace in that.
Become family.
Yeah,
You know?
some family.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
oh, go ahead.
you go through so many struggles as a child trying to find your own identity.
Hmm.
So coming out is for us is one aspect. That's just one door of the closet. Whereas as a pup, we have to come out of another one, and it's quite strange. But it as a pup, we've got two senses of identity, and both of them, I'm proud of who I am because of the struggles that other people went through, and I've witnessed how they've done it, and it's given me a sense of who I am. You
Yes.
know.
Well, and I know Pride is there's many parts to it. But when you think about pride in the whole piece of it, What aspects of pride are most important to you?
You want to take one?
I suppose it's the sense of belonging that, to me, is you can, I suppose, be among your people and be among, you've got the pop side, you've got the kink side, you've got the family side. I've been to Pride in London where it's just mass of just people just bearing all and being who they are
Hmm.
and celebrating that kind of side. And I've been to little more intimate family ones where it's it's less about showing skin and more about becoming and just celebrating it and opening it up to a younger kind of teenagers that are just kind of finding their way in the world. And I like the duality aspects of it. Um, and I think that it's important to not lose sight of why we have pride and what pride is about and the struggles that um, are the reason, the struggles of why we have pride and why it's there, it's history.
Yeah, and we have to remember that now we celebrate and we go out and have a good time in the streets. However, that's not how it started. And that's why you guys are the first ones that get my new background that actually has the rainbow brick. And right above it, it's hard to see, but it's Marsha P. Johnson, which is the one that threw that brick at Stonewall. And we got to remember that that's our history.
Yeah.
And we can't forget that because that's a big part of it.
Yeah, that's basically day one of the book of who we are.
From my understanding, it started off as a riot. It was a protest.
Yeah.
It was a protest that's become a celebration of who we are. But we must remember that that celebration only happened because of the people that were willing to fight and stand up for, for LGBTQ rights.
Yeah, we've got to keep up the fight. We may still have to go back to the riots again because they're trying to strip our rights away again. So
Yeah. Well, Scotland is we literally pride ourselves, pun intended, on being one of the most friendly LGBTQ places in the world.
hmm
We had a government that had a the all three or four party members of leaders of the different parties. They're all in the LGBTQ community, and it's nice to have that, to know that they get where our struggles are because they've gone through them themselves.
yes,
So our government, it,
has an understanding.
yeah, we have more of an understanding in Scotland than they do in other parts of the world.
and that's the way it should be. LGBT is everywhere, and it's not going anywhere. And
We've been around for
ever,
millennia. We've been around since day dot.
yeah, exactly,
It people seem to say, "Oh, it wasn't around in my day." It was,
yeah,
but it was just hidden because no one was appreciated for who they are and what they did and what
right,
they bring to the table.
right.
So, yeah,
There's a lot over the time, and I mean, even you go back to the 60s, and it's not just the LGBT community. It's women. It's people of color, and people shouldn't have to fight to be who they are based on the color of their skin, their sexuality, their sex, their gender, whatever it is. You should just be who you are,
Be who you are.
and to be who you are.
you should be accepted for who you are. And I think what's going on in America right now,
It's terrifying.
it's terrifying to watch.
Yes,
So we're watching and we're scared for you. We don't know how it feels over there. We've only got a little bit of an inkling of what we're told, you know?
Well, the good thing is a lot of the local state judges are overturning all the things that the president signed back on his very first day. So
Mhm.
he's not winning near as many as everyone thinks he is because all these judges are saying, no, that's unconstitutional. You cannot do that, and you will not do that. So as
Yeah,
long as we have those judges that are supporting our Constitution, then it'll get better, but we're going to have to go through some dark times.
yeah. I mean, you got to the stage where you felt accepted and free to live your life as who you choose to be, and then all of a sudden someone draws the curtain again, and it's all darkness, and
It feels like a bit of a step backwards.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We're watching and it's horrifying, but hopefully things will get better, you know.
It will. It will. So, how has your understanding of pride evolved over time?
When I was younger, I used to look at the pride marches in the street and go, "Wow, they're amazing. They're so brave. You know, this they can be who they want to be and walk about in what they want to wear, and I think that's amazing. And then over time, it's evolved to the point where I've understood that you shouldn't be restricted in what you wear. You shouldn't be restricted in who you love
Yep.
and how you live your life. And the evolution of watching it to being part of it's like a little booklet, you know,
Yep.
something to flick back to and have great memories from, but it also gives you like a little bit of a lesson on how to move forward, I think, as well.
Hmm.
I think for me, I grew up in a tiny little village. It was like wasn't even a shop, so there was nothing like that for me. I didn't really discover anything like pride or anything like that until I was quite late on. Um, and I joined a youth group when I think I was 22. Um, Literally, I was one of the eldest ones there. Um, and we went to Pride and we went to um, York Pride, and it was quite an experience for me because it was a bit of an eye opener. It was quite small, you know, it wasn't like the big one. And then last year I went to London, and that blew everything out of the water. I was literally like, wow, this is incredible. And I never felt such a sense of belonging in the bigger one, like in the big city one. I do find it a bit more accepting. The smaller town ones, I think, are very kind of like almost niche in a way. Um, and I think it's quite, it's getting now to a point of more people are coming to Pride to celebrate as allies.
Hmm.
So, like, not a massive gay community where I'm from, but there's a lot of allies and there's a lot of people there that honor and respect the LGBTQ community. So they kind of make up for the lack of the LGBT community that's in the area. But in the big ones, you can just sense for togetherness, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd like to find out because that's kind of a great segue into the next question because it kind of hints on our allies. But what do you hope others understand about Pride when they either participate in or they are a viewer of a Pride Festival?
I like people who are still too shy to be themselves. I'd like them to witness it and say, this is a family. It's a group of people that come together to celebrate themselves, and being able to do that and showing that the next generation are able to be themselves because we're more accepting of who we are and who our parents are and who our next generation are and the ones after that. It, I think, I'd hope it would give them a sense of family, that there's a family there if they need it, if they want to join it, just as long as they come out and be as fabulous as possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think for me, I think a lot of the allies that I've met, they know gay people, they know people in the LGBTQ community, and they're there to support their friends, they're there to support people that they know, and I think
that gives like the next generation a sense of
I think, especially going as the leader of a youth group, see and watch, the 15, 16-year-olds just light up and find themselves, speaking to people they wouldn't necessarily normally speak to. So, I'm not mentioning names, but, there was a really shy person in one of the groups that I talked to, that I was with, and they're quite shy, very reserved in group. And then we went to York, and there's a mass field of so many people of different cultures, backgrounds, variations. And to see them kind of be like, I think I found my place, my kind of people. And it's a joy to watch. And not just the young community as well. I think it's important for the older community, those that didn't grow up. They grew up too scared to want to go to Pride, or too scared to be out and proud and loud. I think a lot of the older generation are kind of going, yeah, I'm here, this is who I am. And I think it helps them with a sense of family and belonging. I think that's the purpose, I think, of the community.
Well, and that's what I like about Orlando, or where I am, is even though we're in what we call a red state because of the Republicans, Orlando is almost, I would say, it's almost a sanctuary city because we have a mayor here that loves the LGBTQ community. We have a county commissioner here in Orlando. She is a lesbian, and life here is great. When we have our Pride celebration, we don't do it until October, only because they wanted it to be around National Coming Out Day, which is October the 11th. But it's also too hot in June to do it here in Orlando. We wait till it cools off some. But our Pride Festival brings about 250,000 people out to the festival and the parade. And you see all these husbands and wives and their kids, and they all come out to celebrate with us. And it's just awesome to see.
Yeah.
No, we used to get that in the UK, but parents don't seem to want to like do that anymore,
Yeah.
Even when they were taken, they were kids and they witnessed it and they enjoyed it. They don't want to bring their kids to that kind of celebration. And I don't understand. I understand why in some aspects, but I don't understand how they can not let them witness something that they themselves have witnessed,
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover in terms of, I think, some parents don't, some people just think, oh, it's just a promiscuous thing, just people walking the street half naked, and I get that. You don't want to be taking young kids to that kind of thing. but at the same time, it's that aspect of self-expression, and it's where does that kind of line hit? Where is that line between making it accessible for everyone while still
Mhm.
retaining that freedom of expression?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, last question. What message do you think Pride sends to future generations of the LGBTQ plus community?
I'd say, personally, it's send out a message of don't be afraid to be who you are. Even when times are dark and times are tough, never be afraid to be your true self and be who you want to be. Because in a world where you can be anything, it's rare to be yourself and be able to be yourself. So it should be a welcoming thing, you know, as well. It should be we're here for you kind of thing. It's don't be afraid, you're not alone.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's you want to come to Pride and you want to see what it's about, and you want to kind of get involved, either helping set one up or go into one, and it's something that you're interested in doing and you want to do it, then go and do it, because it's such a wonderful event and thing to be a part of, and you'll meet so many people, and it'll open up so many avenues for you as well.
Yes.
Like on a personal, professional level, and you might find yourself loving it and doing more and getting more and more involved as every year goes on. A lot of them start off small and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, so if you want to go and do it, then just go and do it. Take someone that you're scared to go alone, go in a group, find someone.
Yes.
Just go and experience it for yourself and love it.
Awesome.
And spark.
It was awesome getting to talk to you both. I know Puppy and I know each other from a long time, but Raven, it was awesome getting to talk to you, and I can't wait to do the regular podcast with you later on.
It's going to be awesome.
Really looking forward to it. Yeah.
So I guess we can sign off here, but again, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride
Yeah.
Get out and celebrate and have a good time, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
I'll talk to y'all soon.
See you soon.